Hello guys, Kate here, and today we are gonna be talking about a very forgotten Roblox feature that was actually used to, kind of do crazy stuff on Roblox. And that will be the trade currency. But before I can actually get into that, like and subscribe, because why not, it's free and I would appreciate it. Now, what is, or better yet, what was the trade currency? To understand what the trade currency was, we'll also need to understand what tickets were. So, TIX were a form of almost free currency which could be obtained by just simply logging into Roblox every day or getting other users to join your game. That's right, you used to get a certain amount of tickets every time a user joined your game. So imagine if that would be the case today, just with Robux. Yeah, games like, I don't know, right now, Grow a Garden would make billions. So yeah, okay, but let's get back to topic. So also, tickets were later removed, and for a while, there was no way of gaining any sort of currency for just having users playing your game. Until, premium playtime and all those stuff. So TIX were a sort of in-between currency that were worth usually around 1 Robux. 10 tickets for 1 Robux. You could also spend tickets on items in the catalog. You could also use them to advertise the game. So yes, now that you have an explanation of what tickets were, now we can move on to the trade currency as I mentioned before. So as I said, 1 Robux was usually worth at least 10 tickets, if not more at time, depending on where the demand was, and that demand was used to, well, make a lot of Robux and tickets. It was crazy what they did, but later on that. But also there will be a spread sometimes. There will be a higher demand for tickets, so people were offering them at a rate that was in favor of the tickets. So in turn, people will offer 1 Robux for less tickets. But sometimes there will be a higher demand for Robux and it will be in favor of the Robux. So in turn, it would require more tickets for 1 Robux. 1 Robux for 10 TIX is just an example of the rate which was most commonly seen. Most people were trading for much larger amounts though. Now, these spreads allowed for users to make large gains off of the trade currency. The more Robux or tickets you had, the more profit you could make. Much like how stocks go up and down in price, so did the trade currency. For example, the rate at 1 minute could be 1 Robux for 10 tickets, so at that time people would trade in their tickets for Robux. Let's do some math here. Say we started at 10,000 tickets at a rate of 1 Robux. For 10 tickets, we will trade those tickets in for 1000 Robux. A couple of minutes later, the rate changes in favor of Robux, so now 1 Robux is trading for 15 tickets. We will then trade our Robux back to tickets, and that 1000 Robux would be exchanged for 15,000 tickets. We then wait a few more minutes for the rate to change in favor of tickets, and we trade those tickets back to Robux for a rate of 1 Robux to 10 tickets, and go from 15,000 tickets to 1500 Robux. We started the day with just 10,000 tickets, and in just a few trades, we traded our tickets for 1000 Robux, and back to 15,000 tickets, and then back to 1500 Robux. Now this is just a small scale example. Imagine people doing this with much more. The more currency you had, the easier it was to make bigger trades for bigger profits. This was a very common practice back in the days of the trade currency. It wasn't at first, so the first people who noticed they could do this, and this made them a lot of Robux and tickets. It later became such a popular way of making profit that it was eventually heavily botted, It was automated with some scripts and stuff like that, so which then made profits for regular users close to zero. Well, now you're up to date on the trade currency. But yeah, that was all about the trade currency and its history. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.